In May 2007, on a sunny day at Praia da Luz, a picturesque village in the Portuguese Algarve seemed like the perfect setting for a family holiday. For Kate and Gary McCann, British doctors, and their 3 young children, vibrant 3-year-old Madeleine and 2-year-old twins Sean and Amelie, it was an idyllic escape. The Ocean Club, a luxurious resort with glistening pools and cozy apartments, promised days of rest and joy. Children's laughter echoed through the corridors, and the Atlantic breeze carried with it the promise of happy memories. However, on one fateful night, this image of perfection would shatter, giving way to a nightmare that would unfold under the global spotlight, a mystery that would challenge the greatest investigative minds and even today, 18 years later, continues to haunt everyone. Imagine the scene: the McCann couple enjoying dinner with friends at a tapas restaurant just a few meters from their apartment. An established routine, a tacit agreement: every 20 or 30 minutes, one of the adults would take turns checking on the children, who were sleeping soundly. It was a night like any other until their lives would change forever. What really happened to little Madeleine McCann that night? How can a child simply disappear from a locked room in a seemingly secure resort without a trace? Prepare to delve into one of the most intriguing, painful, and widely publicized disappearance cases in modern history, a saga that transcended borders and captured the attention of millions but still cries out for a resolution. It was the 3rd of May 2007. The McCann's evening routine at the Ocean Club was well defined. With their 3 young children sleeping in the ground floor apartment, the couple and their friends, known as the Tapas 7, were having dinner at the resort's restaurant a short distance away. After each round of tapas and conversation, one of them would get up for a quick check on the apartments. At around 10 p.m., Gary McCann made his last check. He entered the apartment, saw Madeleine and the twins sleeping in their cots, and returned to the restaurant, noticing nothing unusual. Tranquility seemed to reign. However, the calm would be brutally interrupted. At 10:30 p.m., Kate McCann decided to make the next check. Upon entering the apartment, a strange feeling washed over her. The children's bedroom door, which should have been closed, was ajar. A shiver ran down her spine. As she approached Madeleine's cot, Kate's heart froze. The cot was empty. The bedroom window was open, and the curtains swayed gently in the night breeze. Panic took hold. Desperate screams of "Madeleine's gone" echoed through the resort, transforming the quiet night into a whirlwind of despair and disbelief. The police were called, and the search began immediately, but the girl had vanished without a trace. The question that would torment the world for years was already formed. How could a 3-year-old child disappear from a locked room in a seemingly secure resort without anyone seeing or hearing anything? The mystery of Madeleine McCann had just been born. The Madeleine McCann case quickly became a global phenomenon, fueled by the image of the blonde, blue-eyed girl plastered across newspapers and televisions worldwide. The Portuguese police, the Polícia Judiciária PJ, launched an investigation that would be marked by controversies, failures, and dramatic twists. International pressure was immense, and every step of the investigation was scrutinized by a ravenous media and a public hungry for answers. Initially, the investigation focused on the possibility of an abduction. Witnesses reported seeing a man carrying a child on the night of the disappearance, which reinforced this theory. However, the Portuguese investigation took an unexpected and shocking turn when, in September 2007, Madeleine's parents, Kate and Gary, were declared arguidos formal suspects. This decision sparked outrage and disbelief worldwide. The theory that they were involved in their daughter's disappearance, perhaps through a covered-up accident, was widely publicized and debated but was never proven. Despite intense pressure and public scrutiny, the McCanns always maintained their innocence and were later cleared of any formal suspicion by the Portuguese justice system in 2008. Over time, various theories emerge, from abduction by a pedophile network to the possibility of a crime committed by a local resident. The lack of concrete evidence and the constant flow of information, often contradictory, turned the case into a labyrinth of speculation. The British police, through Operation Grange, launched in 2011, re-examined the case, seeking new leads and analyzing the shortcomings of the initial Portuguese investigation. Thousands of hours of security footage were reviewed, hundreds of people were interviewed, and a dedicated team of detectives worked tirelessly to unravel the mystery. However, Madeleine's whereabouts remained a mystery, and the hope of finding her alive diminished with each passing year. In 2020, a significant breakthrough breathed new life into the investigation. German police announced the identification of a new suspect, Christian Bruckner, a German pedophile and rapist who was living in the Algarve region at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. Bruckner was already imprisoned for other crimes in Germany. German police stated they had evidence that he was responsible for Madeleine's disappearance and death, treating the case as a murder, although the body has never been found. Bruckner's connection to the region, his criminal history, and the presence of his mobile phone in the resort area on the night of the disappearance made him the main focus of the investigation. This new line of inquiry brought a mix of hope and pain for the McCann family, who saw the possibility of finally getting answers, but also the harsh reality that their daughter was likely no longer alive. In the years following the identification of Christian Bruckner, the investigation gained new momentum, although the complexity of the case and the lack of direct evidence continued to be challenges. In 2023, a large search operation was carried out at a reservoir in Portugal, the Array Dam, where Bruckner reportedly spent time. The search, which lasted several days, involved dive teams, sniffer dogs, and advanced technology in the hope of finding traces of Madeleine. However, the operation did not result in significant discoveries directly related to the girl, which was a blow to hopes of a quick resolution. Despite the lack of direct physical evidence, German police maintained their conviction that Bruckner is the culprit based on circumstantial evidence and his criminal history. In May 2025, new information emerged, with investigators revealing they had discovered new disturbing evidence that strengthens the case against Bruckner. The exact nature of this evidence was not publicly disclosed, but the news reignited hope that the case might be nearing a resolution. In June 2025, Portuguese and German police resumed searches in Portugal, indicating that the investigation remains active and that there is a continuous effort to gather more evidence that could lead to Bruckner's conviction. The McCann family, though cautious and exhausted by years of uncertainty, expressed hope that these new actions might finally bring the answers they so desperately crave. As of the present moment, June 2025, Madeleine McCann's body has not been found. The case, although with a main suspect and strong indications pointing to Christian Bruckner, still lacks a formal and definitive resolution that would bring peace to the family. Christian Bruckner remains imprisoned for other crimes in Germany, and German police continue to consider him responsible for Madeleine's death. The mystery of Madeleine McCann, one of the most notorious disappearance cases of the 21st century, continues to be an open wound, a grim reminder of how life can change in an instant and how the search for answers can last a lifetime. The saga of Madeleine McCann is a testament to the family's persistence, the complexity of international investigations, and the harsh reality that sometimes the complete truth can remain hidden for years or even forever. The Madeleine McCann case is a chilling reminder that not all disappearances have a happy ending, or even an ending at all. The pain of a family, the tireless search for answers, and the shadow of a crime without a body haunt us all. It's a story that forces us to confront the vulnerability of life and the fragility of security, even in environments that seem impregnable. The global repercussion of the case, the mobilization of resources, and the continuous media attention demonstrate the profound impact the disappearance of a child can have on the collective consciousness. The case of Madeleine McCann is not just a crime story. It is a narrative about hope, despair, persistence, and the incessant search for a truth that, at times, seems to be always one step ahead. As Christian Bruckner remains under suspicion and the investigation continues, the world waits with the McCann family for a resolution that might finally bring some peace to this horrific story. But what happens when the disappeared is found, but the story behind their vanishing is even more bizarre than imagined? In our next video, we'll explore the case of Mike Williams, a story that proves reality can be far stranger and more terrifying than fiction. Don't miss it.